Hey everybody, Brandon Jones here, and the final season of Game of Thrones is almost upon us. If you are like me, then you are extremely excited for this season and to finally see how this wrapped up. If you're also like me, you've read the 5 available books in the Song of Ice and Fire series, and now are relying on a bunch of HBO writers and show producers to tell us how this story finally ends. I'm very curious how it's going to end. I'm so curious, I wanted to bring in some of my fellow allies to sit down at this desk and look into that camera and say how we think this season is going to end. I mean, this is obviously how I want the season to end too, I'm about to tell you. But one by one, I want each of us to come in. I don't want to hear their predictions until I produce this video. I don't want them to know what the other person is thinking. And I don't want us to really unpack this kind of like a time capsule until the season is over and to see how close we came, who got what characters right, who got what characters wrong. Obviously, huge spoiler warning, because if you have not seen the first several seasons of Game of Thrones leading up to this final season, then we will be spoiling the heck out of it. Now, I've written a list of all of the characters that are still alive in this final season, and I want people to try to guess at the fate of these characters. And by the end of the season, we'll see how we do.
So, by the end of the Game of Thrones, I've got a list here of characters in front of me. Tyrion Lannister, dead. Jaime Lannister, dead. Cersei Lannister lives. Daenerys Targaryen lives. Jon Snow dead. Davos Seaworth dead. Sansa Stark live. Arya Stark live. Melisandre is dead already, gonna happen. Missandei live. Theon Greyjoy live. Brienne dead. Varys dead. Sam live. Bran, so here we go. Bran Stark, Three-Eyed Raven. He's always been the Three-Eyed Raven. In fact, that old person you see training him, that's Bran Stark. You're gonna this is look, I'll come back to this in just a second. Bronn dead. Gilly live. Gendry dead. Damn it. Tormund, if Brienne dies, okay, Tormund gets with Brienne before she dies. That has to happen. All right, there's a name on this list. There's Jorah Mormont live. Sandor Clegane. All right. So the Hound and the Mountain are going to fight. There will be a Clegane Bowl, but it'll be over in 1 second. It'll be one swing of a sword and it'll be over. So we're gonna have all this build up to what is hype can never die, but it will just be done. But anyway, Bran Stark, you're gonna find out. This is my prediction for the end. Bran Stark was Three-Eyed Raven the whole time, because it's going to be a time is a loop BS. You're going to find out that the events of Game of Thrones just keep repeating themselves. And that's why the White Walkers come back every 1,000 years, because things reset and stuff. And Bran is the key to it all, because he's some all-powerful being and stuff, and he causes the reset every time. That's how Game of Thrones is ending. See you later.
Okay, so right off the top, we have Tyrion Lannister. I think Tyrion Lannister and Sansa Stark are going to rule the kingdom at the end of this. I think that them setting up the relationship beforehand that they had, and obviously it's expounded on much more in the books, this idea that obviously Sansa's very frustrated with the Lannister family, and she's very disgusted by Tyrion Lannister, but I think that's a setup for them to get back together. I don't think that they are going to have a romance. I don't even think Sansa is going to really appreciate Tyrion that much, but I think they're going to find themselves in a position where they're going to realize that it is up to them to rule the kingdom. It's basically how they were groomed in their own strange ways to take over for their parents, to take over the incredibly stressful goal of ruling this kingdom. I don't think they're going to live in King's Landing. I don't know if Tyrion's going to live in King's Landing. I think Tyrion might go back to Casterly Rock, and I think Sansa might head back to the north. I think she's basically going to be the queen in the north, but together they are going to rule over the Seven Kingdoms and rule over everyone because I think Jon Snow's going to die. again. And I think Daenerys is going to go back home. I think she's going to head back to Essos. I think Daenerys is going to finally achieve everything that she's wanted to achieve. She's going to win that Iron Throne, and then she's going to give that to Tyrion Lannister, who she thinks is probably the smartest political mind other than herself, and Sansa, who she is going to learn to know through Jon. I'm not going to guess how Jon's going to be taken out. He gets stepped on by the ice dragon. I don't know. Jon's just going to be wiped out. He's going to sacrifice himself in some big glorious way, kind of like, I don't know if it's going to be as dramatic as having his head on the chopping block like his dad, or his stepdad, if you will. So yeah, Jon's going to die. Daenerys is going to realize, okay, I have the throne, but you know what? I only wanted this because I was kind of told I wanted this. I only wanted this because my brother wanted it, because I wanted to avenge my family. And the more people that I've met, the more I have, laid siege to this world in so many different areas, the more I realize that I am needed the most in Essos. Essos is kind of the most behind the times in terms of, I don't really know if any of society is technically civilized in Westeros and beyond, but I think that's gonna kind of be the big twist. I think Daenerys is gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna head out of here. Tyrion, Sansa, you run everything. Jaime and Cersei Lannister, I'd be very surprised if they make it out of this. Jaime might make it out of it. I hope Cersei does not. Man, I really, really, really hope Cersei goes down in the absolute worst way. It's been a fun ride. I understand a lot of people that, cheer for Cersei when she just does absolutely horrible things to people and has almost zero ramifications. A lot of things have really worked out for Cersei. And I know you're saying, wait a minute, her kids are dead. She doesn't really seem to care that much. She's kind of lost her mind and she's kind of off the rails now. And it's fun to watch, but again, judging by what's happened in the past, setting up things in the future, Jaime being known as the King Killer, Jaime as the one who took down the Mad King and took it upon himself, realized his responsibility, that he was in the position and was possibly the only one who could have stood up to this king, and decided to take the law into his own hands and betray his king and betray his order, really. I think he's going to kind of do the same thing again by betraying his love, and he's going to murder Cersei right before she does something terrible. I don't know what else terrible things that Cersei could do that she hasn't done already, but and maybe possibly sacrifice himself in the act of doing that. I've heard from people, Amanda's not going to be in this video, but Amanda does. My wife, Amanda, is a big fan of Game of Thrones. She's really listening to the books right now. She has a crazy theory where, like, Arya is going to pretend to be Jaime, like Arya and Jaime are going to get in a sword fight, and then Arya is going to kill Jaime, and then Arya is going to become Jaime, and then as Jaime is going to kill Cersei. I don't know. I don't necessarily think so. Like, I'm not a huge fan of like what a superhero that Arya has become. Like, it's now just accepted that she can basically do anything and become anyone and stealth into anywhere. And so I'd like to see a little bit more behind her skills and how she pulls these things off in this final season. But I think Arya is going to, I don't know. Gurm once said that his wife wouldn't let him kill Arya. That was like the one rule. And so he's like, okay. So I don't know if he was just joking with everybody, but I think Arya is going to make it out. I think Arya is kind of like her wolf, Nymeria, that is out in the wild somewhere. I think she will kind of do the same thing and head out into the wilds. Okay, Davos Seaworth. Let's go through this list as fast as we possibly can. I love Davos Seaworth, the Onion Knight. I hope he makes it out. I hope he... Much like Samwell Tarly, who I believe will make it out along with Gilly, I think they will be the storytellers. I won't be surprised if the series ends. This is kind of my prediction is that we will jump in time, because this saga is known as the Song of Ice and Fire. So much of this series in the books and in the show is spent singing songs and talking about old legends and old wars and old heroes. And so it'd be interesting to see a society that refers to this era, to this Song of Ice and Fire of Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen, of all of the crazy stuff that led them to that point. And then what a future generation thinks that might possibly again be facing the threat of the White Walkers, or living in a world that was adversely affected by that plague. Melisandre, it kind of teased in the last season that she wants to die on this soil, and so she's leaving, but she will be coming back. Maybe she does something. It'd be interesting if Melisandre was the one who takes down the Ice Dragon. Maybe I'll make that call. Missandei is going to make it out. She's going to be fine. She'll probably go back to Essos with Daenerys. Bran Stark is already turned into the Three-Eyed Raven and is just chilling in a tree. I don't think there's some really wild Bran Stark speculation going on about like him being the Night King and him being the head of the White Walkers, and I think he will be a tool to kind of help shift the story around and show us really interesting flashbacks. I don't necessarily see Bran Stark doing that much, but at the same time, Bran and I share the same name, along with Brandon the Builder, who built the wall. So I got a lot of stake in Bran as far as surviving and being important to the world. I don't know how much he'll affect the story. Bronn is definitely going down. Bronn is gonna probably get a rather unceremonious death. I think he's just gonna fight for the wrong side one time, and his luck will finally run out. Varys will probably survive it, although it would be fun to see him have an untimely death, but because he's done some nasty things to people. But Varys is always kind of on the sidelines, and so I think he will remain being on the sidelines. Brienne of Tarth, I think, will probably stick around Winterfell. I think she will probably continue to be a protector of Sansa and kind of be Sansa's blade. And Gilly, of course, will be hanging out with Samwell Tarly. Samwell will go on to write books about all of these things and tell future generations about how all this stuff happened. Gendry is still around. I don't know if Gendry will do anything fascinating moving forward. Technically, he does have a right to the throne, but that's never really worked out well for anybody. And so I think we needed more characters than the final season in the last season that we got to head up north. And I think Gendry will probably, just like Tormund Giantsbane, I think the two of them will probably fall in battle. And Sandor Clegane is going to probably fight the Clegane Bowl. I think is going to happen. He's probably going to fight his brother, and they're probably going to kill each other. Sandor Clegane has the Hound has died once already, and I think the two are going to fall on each other's swords. And Jorah Mormont is most likely going to sacrifice himself in some way for Daenerys Targaryen. I'm surprised actually that they already had some kind of a reunion of sorts, that they are still friends again somewhat. But I think he is due to make some kind of sacrifice, because he eventually wanted Daenerys to die before he even had met her, and so or really gotten to know her. So I think he's got to pay for that at some point. But those are all the central characters. Again, I think hopefully Cersei goes down. I think Jon is going to die. I just think that's naturally his fate. Be nice to see Arya come out of this, but I think at the end of the season, we're going to do a jump into the future where we look back and see how this world has been affected a couple hundred years later by these events that happened in the past, much like this current show has reflected on stuff that's happened in the past. And I think that Tyrion Lannister and Sansa Stark are going to share the throne of Westeros.
What's up, y'all? It's me, it's Brad. We're gonna make some predictions. I haven't watched Game of Thrones since it aired, so I don't remember a lot of what happened or what's gonna happen. Bold? Actually, not even bold. I'm gonna say that Daenerys Targaryen is gonna die in the final battle with the White Walkers. Jon Snow will become the king of King's Landing or whatever. Oh man, there's so many characters. I don't even remember everyone, dude. Braun's gonna die, unfortunately. He's gonna die defending someone epic. He's gonna die defending, let's see, Tyrion Lannister, maybe? Oh, but will Tyrion die? Guys, I don't know what's gonna happen. Either two things, okay? So, tons of people, just broad thing, tons of people are going to die. Either the good guys, like Jon Snow is going to be the good guy and be the king, or, which would be really cool maybe, is if the good guys lost and the White Walkers won and took over Westeros, then everyone else had to reconvene to a different continent or something like that. I don't know. Anything could happen in this show. This show's bananas. So, yeah, hopefully some sick people make it out alive. But I don't know. Who do I want to live? I think Arya Stark will live too. I don't know, guys. A lot of people die. Jon Snow becomes king of Westeros. The end.
Hello, everyone. Some Game of Thrones predictions. Starting with Tyrion Lannister. Tyrion's gonna make it out alive. The final time we see Tyrion Lannister, he's going to be sipping some wine on a beach, earning 20%. Jaime Lannister and Cersei Lannister. Ooh. All right, Jaime Lannister is going down in a blaze of glory. Cersei, yeah, and it's going to be Cersei's fault. I don't know exactly how that's going to happen, but Jaime Lannister will meet his demise due to something Cersei does. Like, open the gates! She won't open the gates, dude. Jaime's going down. Cersei Lannister dying to a White Walker. White Walker taking her out. The Night King. She thinks she'll be able to talk the Night King down. Night King's taking her out. Daenerys, same thing. She is going to live happily ever after. She's going to destroy the Iron Throne. She doesn't even want it anymore. I know the entire show is about her trying to get it, but the Iron Throne will be just destroyed because it causes more harm than it's worth. Jon Snow, this is tough. Jon Snow's living on borrowed time. I don't think Jon Snow's making it out alive. Jon Snow's going down. Davos Seaworth. Davos is a survivor. Davos is gonna make it out. He will be on a boat, obviously. He's gonna be on a boat, smiling. That'll be the last time we see Davos. Here we go. Here's where it gets really tricky. Sansa and Arya Starks? Like, could they die? Everyone has so much plot armor nowadays, it feels like they're kind of invincible, but it is the final season, so that invincibility code does run out. No IDDQD for you anymore, Sansa and Arya. I don't know. Can I say I don't know for Sansa and Arya? I haven't even thought. Arya? Dude, Arya is actually not gonna make it because Jaqen Hagar, who's not even like on this list for some reason, that's an oversight. Jaqen, is that his name? He's coming back for vengeance, for blood, because she betrayed the many-faced gods. Many-faced god. Melisandre, she will give up her life energy for some kind of spell. We've seen her all old and withered, She's gonna like give up her energy, Tsunade style, to like heal someone or cast some spell, some raging fire spell. Yeah, she's going down. Missandei, oh yeah, her and Grey Worm, who is also not on the list. They're both making it out alive. Happy ending for them. Love them together. So good. Missandei and Grey Worm. Theon Greyjoy. He will also go down in a sacrifice. Blaze of Glory. He's not making it out alive. He will jump in front of a giant ice spear to save Jon Snow. It's going down, Theon. Brienne of Tarth is going to get married to Tormund Giantsbane. It's happening. It better happen. It's gotta happen. Can we make it happen? Let's will that into existence. Brienne and Tormund together. The best. Varys. You know that scene where Melisandre says, Varys, I've seen your death or whatever? I think she was telling the truth there. I think Varys goes down. I don't know how, though. Oh, yeah, I don't really know how Varys goes down. Probably just kind of in the panic of a White Walker invasion, perhaps. Varys goes down. Maybe he has some like important news and he's trying to get it somewhere. Maybe he like hands it off to Tyrion or something, like, go get her the message or something. He like shuts the doors. He goes down. Samuel Tarly, my man. Samuel Tarly hype. He will save the day. Samwell Tarly will discover the most important information regarding the White Walkers. He will know how to destroy them. He will know the secret code to win. Samwell Tarly saving the day. Mark my words. Draft your tweets. Bran Stark, I don't know. Guy is weird. Three-eyed raven, who knows? This is kind of a weird one because Bran technically is already dead. You died in that cave. Bran's already dead, so I think Jones really meant to say it was the three-eyed raven. Come on, Jones. Bronn. Ugh. Love Bronn. I don't want Bronn to die. But he's got to, right? He's got to prioritize someone's life above the coin, above his own survival. I don't know who that is. I don't know who he cares about that much. Maybe Tyrion, but he hasn't seen Tyrion in so long, really. Like, they don't really hang out anymore. So maybe Bronn makes it out. I'm sorry I'm not giving you definitive answers on these, but, I'm just along for the ride, so I don't even like to think about what the hell is going to happen. Gilly, she's fine. She'll be in like a safe place. Love Gilly. Check out Skins, the UK version, because Cassie is one of the greats. Gendry, same thing. Check out Skins, my man Gendry. They'll be fine. Tormund, we already know, is going to marry Brienne of Tarth. Sandor Clegane, the Hound is dying 100%. I think it's going to be like a double kill situation with the Clegane Bowl. They just hack each other up so hard that they both die. The Mountain and the Hound. The only way is if they go down together in flames. They're going down in flames. It's going to be a thing of beauty. And Jorah Mormont, I don't know, is it weird? A lot of people are probably going to judge me. I want Jorah and Daenerys to end up together. He's a little older, I know. But, what are their ages on the show? I don't even know. So if it's inappropriate, then no. But, I want Jorah and Khaleesi to live happily ever after. Will that happen? I don't know. But, it'd be weird for Jorah to survive the grayscale only to have him die a season later. That just doesn't make sense. But crazier things have happened on Game of Thrones.
All right, for me, it's been since the last season ended. I haven't caught up on anything. So I don't have a lot of crazy detailed predictions, but I'm going to run through a few that I thought of right here. And to where I think this story could go and could end. First of all, Jon Snow finds out who the heck he really is in that first episode. Like, get that crap out of the way and start working with it. And then I think the Night King is going to make it all the way to King's Landing before Cersei starts taking anything seriously. She's going to hole up in the city and prevent any of her forces from joining the battle. She's just going to be in like defensive mode and let everybody else die around her. But I think Jaime and Arya are going to infiltrate King's Landing to assassinate Cersei and take control of her army. Arya will kill the Mountain. Jaime will kill Cersei. One dragon is going to survive all of this. The zombie dragon and the other living dragon will die. Maybe kill each other. Long shot bet, Tyrion gives up drinking. Probably not going to happen, but maybe. And then in terms of who's going to sit on the Iron Throne, I think the Iron Throne is going to get destroyed. I think it's going to become a non-issue. The end.
Hey, these are my Game of Thrones predictions. I think Jon Snow's gonna die in some kind of heroic sacrifice. I think Daenerys will almost get the Iron Throne and then get killed by someone, maybe Cersei, but then she won't get it either. I think that Tyrion Lannister will probably just have to go off into exile or something. Who's to say? I think that Sansa might come out pretty good. I think that Arya will kill the people she wants to kill. I want her to go hang out with the Hound and not kill him, but I think that she'll kill the people she wants to kill, but be so wounded that she'll die alone and no one will know where she dies. I think if Bran Stark doesn't warg into a dragon, we've been gypped. Jaime Lannister, probably going to be alright. Hope he marries Brienne of Tarth, who knows. Theon Greyjoy, boy. Maybe he'll become some kind of ultimate badass, but I doubt it. Samwell Tarly, I think, hopefully, like, solves the whole thing. Figures out how to, everything. He already knows Dragonglass. I hope he figures it all out. Oh my god, Davos. I want all the best things for Davos. The mountain is crazy. I want Varys, Davos, and Lyanna Mormont. And Jorah Mormont to just kind of like say screw all this and go get a cabin and just hang out and be safe. Melisandre, I want her magic to stop working, so she has to die as an old lady. Euron Greyjoy sucks. I want the Hound, he's alright. Bronn is the best. I want Bronn to be alright. I also want Tormund Giantsbane to be alright, but I bet he'll die in some fight. Gendry probably will die, or like it'll just cut to him sitting somewhere and everyone's forgotten about him. Yara Greyjoy probably gonna die. Grey Worm probably gonna be fine. Go off with Missandei and be fine. Daario Naharis will probably die. Oh my god, Jaqen H'ghar needs to just be everything. Jaqen H'ghar is the best. I hope that somebody at the end of the whole series, like the last person standing kills someone and then they just go and it's Jaqen H'ghar and he's just like, see ya. Mira Reed, don't care about you. I'm looking at a list. Podrick Bane, I hope he just like becomes a gigolo. Gilly, gonna be alright. Lyanna Mormont, I want to sit on the Iron Throne. I want Lyanna Mormont to win the whole day. Illyria Sand, she'll probably die. Hot Pie. Hot Pie's gotta come back. Anyway, Game of Thrones. Yeah, I think that for it to be a satisfying story, a lot of the characters need to get what they want, but most of them are going to die, and I think most of them aren't going to get what they want. Maybe Sansa comes out okay. Maybe. But I hope Lyanna Mormont gets the Iron Throne. Honestly, I think what might happen is they break up the kingdoms. That the Seven Kingdoms aren't ruled by the Iron Throne anymore. Because that's something I don't think they would see coming. Maybe Daenerys and Jon Snow come up with some kind of deal, but I don't see Jon Snow coming out of this thing alive. Noble sacrifice, like I said. Maybe the dragons turn on Daenerys. That would be hilarious. Ice Dragon v Fire Dragon, and then the last dragon, Bran, wargs into it, eats Daenerys, burns the Iron Throne. Because remember, we saw that flash forward or whatever of the Iron Throne being all burned up, like that whole room being burned up. Maybe Bran wargs in, burns it, Daenerys bites it. Yeah. Anyway, those are my thoughts about Game of Thrones.
Tyrion Lannister finds love. Jaime Lannister dead. Cersei Lannister dead. Daenerys Targaryen dead. Jon Snow dead. Davos Seaworth lives. Finds power. Sansa Stark dead. Arya Stark dead. Melisandre lives. Finds a cool cabin. Missandei dead. Theon Greyjoy just like mutilated. Brienne of Tarth dead. Brienne, I don't know. I feel like the zombies chew her up. Varys dead. Samuel Torley. That's a dead man's name. Bran Stark. I did all the other Starks are dead, right? I want one to live, but it's not going to be Bran. Dead. Bronn. Bronn lives, finds the last name. Gilly. Is there a character named Gilly? Gilly lives. Gilly is a sneaky snake. Gilly finds a way to survive. Gendry, dead. Tormund Giantsbane, dead, but a noble death. Sandor Clegane, dead. And Jorah Mormont. Jorah is dead. Jorah sits on the crown of, the throne, the Game of Thrones, the throne of swords, and just like gets pricked in the butt, right? But it's just like one of those things where it's like one of those old deaths where like we could treat it today, but they just don't have anything to do about it. So it just gets like a little butt slash, and they don't have the magic or technology to heal the butt slash. So Jorah simply dies on the Game of Thrones, Throne of Swords. Thank you.